Tonight, the National Human Rights Commission stakeholders collaborate to safeguard human rights and promote social justice. National Council on Climate Change set to initiate carbon pricing market policy in Nigeria. President Tinubu mourns Chief Edwin Clark. Good evening and welcome to Nta Ijebu Ode News at 7. My name is Mercy Ezeshan. Here are the news in details. The federal government is working in collaboration with other stakeholders to be more deliberate in ensuring growth of micro, small and medium enterprises space in Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the National Council on MSMES first meeting in 2025 set up a committee to interface with the Central Bank of Nigeria to enhance the financing of small businesses in the country. Details of our State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila's report will come your way in our subsequent bulletin. National Council on Climate Change Secretariat is leading the development of a comprehensive national carbon market policy. That is the manual of procedure and regulation for carbon pricing mechanism in Nigeria. Special Presidential Envoy on Climate Change and Director General National Council on Climate Change Secretariat Nkiruka Maduekwe at a hybrid stakeholders consultation workshop on carbon pricing in the telecommunications sector said the documents will provide an overall embracing structure for Nigeria. Charles Alpha reports.
As we gather here today, let us recognize the power of collaboration and multi-sectoral coordination.
Carbon pricing is widely recognized as a cost-effective approach to reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and this is by way of assigning a monetary value to carbon, thereby incentivizing investment in low-carbon technologies and solutions. And this stakeholders' engagement is instrumental in scaling carbon pricing across various industries, catalyzing innovation, stimulating investment, and fostering sustainable economic growth nationwide. For her, by promoting carbon pricing mechanisms means exploring the feasibility and implementation of carbon pricing instruments such as emission trading schemes and carbon tax.
So this sector is also ranked as the largest end user of diesel generators in Nigeria. So it's very clear that when you're talking about a low-carbon, net-zero emissions Nigeria, we should be talking about the telecommunications sector. The industry operating in the telecom sector will not contribute a lot to the Nigerian GDP. So in the course of doing that, we all agree that we generate a lot of carbon footprints.
Government alone cannot shoulder this big burden. We need business to step up and actively participate in financing the transition to a sustainable future.
Innovative solutions for emission reduction as the UN system in Nigeria are committed to this journey. The workshop was organized by the National Council on Climate Change Secretariat in collaboration with the Nigerian Communication Commission with the support of UNFCCC Secretariat and its Regional Collaboration Center for West Africa. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The critical role of healthcare delivery in the national development has been described as a cornerstone of the present administration agenda. This commitment has driven the engagement of key stakeholders to ensure the attainment of universal health coverage, leaving no one behind. At the Strategic Health Summit 2025, with the theme One Vision, One Future, uniting stakeholders for a healthier Nigeria, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, reiterated federal government's commitment to providing basic health care services. Haman Jabani reports.
Seated here are key stakeholders in Nigeria's health sector alongside development partners. They have to evaluate President Tinubu's policy in the sector. The goal is to assess achievements, identify challenges and explore strategies to overcome them while making advancements towards universal health coverage. This summit serves as a platform for collective reflection and action. Secretary to the Government of the Federation reiterated the present administration's initiatives such as the Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative, the Health Renewal Compact between federal and state governments, as well as the redesigned Basic Health Care Provision Fund. This effort underscores government's genuine commitment to transforming the health sector.
This administration inherited a health sector that had faced persistent challenges, including stagnation in key health indicators, and in some areas, even regression. His swift intervention left no doubt about the sincerity of his commitment to transforming healthcare in Nigeria.
And they've shown responsiveness, immediate responsiveness at the right time. They've shown flexibility and adaptability to carry on with the responsibilities of governance in Nigeria, especially in the health sector.
Development partners, including the Global Health Advocacy Incubator, state government, and health experts, emphasized the need for Nigeria to focus on domestic financing, accountability, and preventive measures, especially in light of changing global health financing trends.
There are positives on the side of domestic sourcing for funds. There are positives on the side of health insurance coverage for vulnerable groups. And there are positives on the side of added value chain for medicaments and other health equipment.
So we need a lot more from the state governments, from the local governments, to actually really not just increase budgets, but it's very important to utilize the budgets that they have. And that is sort of really the need of the hour. And I think the work that you've already done on immunization and epidemic preparedness really lays the path to future progress.
The summit featured numerous presentations and discussions, culminating in actionable recommendations to drive the health sector forward. Haman Jabani, NTA News.
The National Human Rights Commission says it is working closely with all stakeholders to safeguard human rights and promote social justice for all persons. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, made this known in an engagement of stakeholders on the Access to Justice Coordination Forum on HIV and other marginalized groups in Nigeria. He says the forum is taking critical steps in strengthening collective efforts to bridge the justice gap for people living with HIV and AIDS, key population and other marginalized groups who continue to suffer stigma, discrimination, and systemic barriers in accessing legal services and social justice.
As we gather here today, let us recognize the power of collaboration and multi-sectoral coordination in addressing these challenges. The role of government agencies, civil society organizations, legal practitioners, healthcare providers, and development partners cannot be left aside. Together, we must work enhance legal awareness. Empowering individuals with knowledge of their rights is crucial in preventing violations and ensuring accountability.
NACA will continue to lead the national response to HIV/AIDS, and we hope that this partnership with the National Human Rights Commission will further empower the agency to address both the health and human rights dimensions of the response. We must note that the success of this forum depends on leveraging on our ability to work across sectors, leveraging our diverse expertise to create effective strategies that promote equitable access to justice for all Nigerians. We therefore look forward to this forum's positive impact on our collective efforts.
The forum also highlighted key areas in assessing and strengthening legal support for victims of violations of human rights, as well as advocate policies for the promotion and protection of human rights of Nigerians. We'll be going on a break. Please stay tuned.
We all have big dreams, so start up your own. Download and control your life with Glow Cafe, the interactive self-service app. Free activation bonus lets you post your content online Get additional data allowing you to gift and share data. 100% bonus on every recharge lets you unlock your creativity, recharge airtime, and enjoy live support chat with Gloria. Special data bundles let you turn that demo into Song of the Year.
Seas with Glow Cafe, my ski they play, my ski they play. I got Seas with Glow Cafe.
Extra aloof data in the Glow Cafe app lets you link up and unlock your ambition. Inspired, let's turn that movie script into the next blockbuster. Don't delay. Download the Glow Cafe app today and start your own collaboration. Glow Unlimited.
أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون
مرحبا بكم يا رمضان مرحبا بكم يا رمضان مرحبا بكم يا رمضان الحمد لله رب العالمين. Yes, it is here again, Ramadan 1446 AH 2025. Nta Ijebu Ode, the heritage station, is at it again to avail us the opportunity to maximize the abundant reward during the period through our packages such as Tafsiri, call to prayer, station live show, short admonition, and lots more. For further inquiries, contact the marketing department, Nta Ijebu Ode, TV House, Eruwa Road, GRA Ijebu Ode, Ogun State, or call 080 28 36 48 01 or 080 29 41 14 73. Ramadan 1446 AA. What a rewarding experience.
رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان.
Welcome back from the break. President Bola Tinubu is deeply saddened by the passing of Chief Edwin Clark, former Federal Commissioner of Information and respected leader of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President's Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononoga. President Tinubu describes his passing as a big loss. The statement added that Clark was also a passionate advocate for resource control, economic and environmental justice in the Niger Delta. The president states that the chief clerk was a courageous leader who stood for what he believed in, a united Nigeria, and until his last breath, he never stopped reaching out to people from different parts of the country to work together to preserve national unity based on justice and equity. On behalf of the federal government, the president extends his condolences to the Edwin Clark family, the Ijaw Nation, the people of the Niger Delta, and the government of Delta State, as well as pray for divine comfort for Chief Clark's family, friends, and all those affected by the significant loss. Chief Clark, who was born on May 25, 1927, in Kiabodo, Burutu local government area of Delta State, died at the age of 97 years. Former President Mohamed Buhari says the death of Chief Edwin Clark has caused deep sorrows in his heart and that of many, and his departure is a loss for the nation, calling him an iconic statesman. The former president said the late Clark was a leader dedicated to reform, whose commitment to the development of his community and the nation, and that in his person, Nigeria had lost an iconic statesman and a distinguished leader, adding that his commitment to the unity of the country would be respected by generations to come. He urged the Clark family and fellow citizens in the Delta region of the country to uphold his numerous achievements. Next on our lineup is Sports Updates with Olumide Eguntola as guide.
The Nigeria Basketball Federation (NBBF) officially released the final 12-man roster for the third window of the FIBA AfroBasket qualifiers set to take place in Tripoli, Libya from 21st of February 2025. Two home-based players made the Tigers' final roster that includes a strong mix of experienced players and emerging talents. Meanwhile, Nigeria's Gabi Vincent has been elected as one of the newest vice presidents of the National Basketball Players Association, NBPA, Tuesday during the annual winter meeting of the board. In table tennis, defending champions Nigeria's Haruna Quadri and Egypt's Dina Mishrev are set to defend their titles at the 2025 ITTF African Cup in Tunis, Tunisia from February 25th to 27th. Haruna will renew his long-time rivalry with Egypt's Omar Azhar. In the women's event, nine-time champion Dina Mishrev will defend her own crown against rising star and compatriot Hannah Goda. The four semi-finalists in both categories will automatically qualify for the ITTF Singles World Cup Macau 2025. In another news, preparations have been concluded for the Maiden Niger Delta Sport Festival, scheduled for Akwa Ibom State from April 1st to 9th, 2025. Addressing the media in Lagos to herald the sports festival, co-chairman of the main organizing committee, Ichako Ikpopo, stated that 17 sports will feature in the first edition, which focuses on making the region the hub of talent discovery and development in the country.
These young stars who are going to show potentials, NEDC wants to see how we can, beyond the festival, develop their talents by exposing them to competitions.
About 30,000 athletes between the ages of 16 and 25 are set to take part in this sports competition. With sports update, Olumide Egutola, NT News.
That's all we have for you today on Nta Ijebu Ode News at 7. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great night.
Bro, I tell you, this match 3-0. If I win you, something will come out.
Don't play with me. Fast ball. You know what? You go shot. Bro. Now we got this man.
Keep the banter going with Glow Borrow Me Credit or Data. Dial star 303 hash to borrow airtime or data and pay later.
Is it ready?
Power your relentless ambition with ultra high speed data. Unlimited.